You're listening to What She Grows Through, a podcast dedicated to empower and uplift Black women to grow their self-worth. I'm your host, Chanel Lemire, one of many dope Black women, creating a community for us to pour into and align with one another, uncovering our true feelings from sexuality to self-love, to begin growing through life and evolving into our best authentic selves. Let's get started. Hey, beautiful people, it's your girl Chanel Lemire back again with another episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. I know it's been a minute, but listen, digging deep inside myself, although very empowering, has been very much draining as well. The previous episode, I had a conversation with my best friend discussing our childhood experiences and how we believe it affects us now, as well as how we choose to parent our little babies. So because of that, I had some pent up emotions, how I felt I was raised under my mom's roof. And if I was going to publicly share how I felt about it, I believe it would be only right that I put my big girl panties on and have a conversation with her. On this podcast, I try my best to be completely honest and allow myself to become vulnerable in hopes that it may help you girls start being curious about yourself and how you see yourself and the relationships that you have in your environment too. It's deep for real, but let me not go too much into it. Listen to my conversation with my mom as she shares her own childhood experiences and how she parented my sister and I because of it. I got a little action in there too, and as much as this was supposed to be a interview type style setup, we just really went off the dome and let it all out. Side note, my baby Rye was in on the action, and of course you hear her big mouth. But yes, I hope you enjoy. Take a listen. Well, hi mother. This is my mother. All of this is based off of me trying to learn myself and then coming to this thing called reparenting. Your inner child. Remember I was telling you about that? Yeah. So when you do that, you have to look at your child self, because obviously a lot of the stuff that happened or how we go about life now is shaped off of exactly. So me looking into that, I'm digging into myself and I'm learning so much, and I feel like it's a healed girl summer now, not hot girl summer. Healed girl. Whatever, healed hot girl. How about that?
It was birth boy like mom. Hot girl.
What? Whatever.
Now Ryan came out, it's that deal.
I know. Well, no, it's hot outside because the panoramic, real hot.
Yeah, I mean, I can go to some. Well, you basically know majority of my childhood.
No, but I didn't really like you. You would tell me bits and pieces, but yeah, you always tell me bits and pieces. I don't think that we ever had a real deep conversation about like everything, about like your childhood and how you are now, how my childhood, and then how I am now. Kind of like a timeline, but you can highlight the best times or the worst times, whatever you remember that you think like could be an impact now, starting from however you can remember up until like this point. Does that make sense?
Well, I do suffer from short-term memory, but I remember a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So whatever you remember, and it don't have to be bad all the time, but like, and good.
I got good memories, I got good memories and bad memories. So I'll start with the bad and work myself to the good, so it can end up good.
So what's your
For,
earliest memory, like, as a child? Or, yeah, obviously, because that's the earliest. Like, age.
2.
Really?
Uh-huh.
How do you know you was 2?
Because Miss Vernon used to babysit me.
Miss Byrne, the one who babysit us.
Yep, Miss Vernon been around a long time.
All right.
She was a teenager. And Grandma had to work. She was in school, Board of Education. She was a teacher.
Oh.
That's why Grandma, every holiday, that's where she got that thing from. With Christmas and stuff, or how she decorates and stuff, she got that from teaching school because she taught special ed.
Oh, okay.
And she always decorated amongst the except for the special ed students.
Okay. And you don't have to go in like full detail, whatever you're good at sharing.
I can't say Grandma didn't love me because we never wanted for anything. I mean, Christmas, holidays, she always went all out, you know. But it just, that's why I said it didn't necessarily, that's how I believe in it don't necessarily have to be physical abuse. It could be verbal abuse or,
I think I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of it. I start with the M. I can't think of it. But somebody take advantage of you.
Yeah, okay. You could just say that because we don't, because
I
can't think of that. It's at the tip of my tongue, but I don't know.
Yeah, so basically, a lot of people took kindness for weakness. But I was a young girl, and I heard stories about my dad, and I saw what my dad was doing, but I was too young to really acknowledge, what was going on.
And is this still your age at 2?
Yeah, between the age of 2 through like 10, 9. I would say 9.
Okay.
Because we lived on North Taylor Street, 504 North Taylor. I remember the house. And Miss Vernon lived right across the street. Then her mom had a store. It was a local candy store.
Mm.
My sister really wasn't there because she was mainly at Norma's house.
Mm.
So, I always felt that I reached the burden because of what happened when I was a 2-year between the age group. Because of my father, how he was and who he was.
Who was he?
He was a street guy, and he was an abusive guy, and he was into drugs. I processed it, but
that's your dad.
That's my dad.
Yeah.
So, and the little girl, 2-year-old, going to this, their dad.
I mean, obviously, to you is normal,
Ever since then, I always felt like I was black sheep because of what was happening.
So
it was only me.
Your dad was with Grandma, is what you're saying. Okay.
And me.
And your sister and you.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was only 2 people. Now it makes sense because in my mind I always think of everybody. When I think of Grandma and her kids, I think of everybody. But like in that time, because she's older, so it was just you and okay. Wow. Okay, so you were by yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Why didn't you want to go to Nana's?
She only took 2 little candy.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I never knew the reason. I mean, but one thing about Nana, every Christmas, she ain't just get one grandkid something. We know what you were getting. You were getting draws and socks, but everybody got something.
Yeah.
Everybody got their little packets because she shopped at Zeros and Alligator Center Mall and got all her Christmas gifts.
So who was all over Nana's? So why couldn't you go over there?
I could, but I was home because I felt like I wasn't wanted. Nana showed favoritism like what we see now through Grandma. I try not to think it was intentionally, but I think it's like a trait thing that what Nana grew up with.
Of course, like generations and generations. Yeah.
I think they don't be meaning to with the favoritism. For years, it went on about her and one sister versus the other sisters. And even with the grandkids.
So their kids versus their kids.
Right.
Okay. So because you were in the home with your dad and your mom, that's when you started seeing certain things.
Right.
Is what you're saying.
Things that I knew was wrong, but I couldn't do nothing about it.
Of course.
But I love them both. And I always asked to go over Grandma Ruth's. And by both of them basically being poorly people, it wasn't a problem with getting taken over there. Mm-hmm. We moved from there because this is why I'm afraid of mice.
Moved from North Taylor.
Got overran by mice.
Was it really overran?
Yes.
How many was it at the same time?
You can ask your
Was it like 5?
No, more than 5. I really can't remember the whole detail. Yeah. I just know I fell asleep on the couch and their aunt smacked me. Get up! A mouse was coming in my pocket. And they was going up and down the walls. Everywhere.
Because they were like scared, so like kind of like that Ratatouille movie, like when they get caught.
I don't know. I was little, but I remember little mice going up and down the walls. Grandma was like, "We gone." What I saw from my father,
crazy.
He was abusive.
So was he abusive towards you?
No, towards Grandma.
Okay.
And what's the hardest part? You can't do nothing because you're just a little girl. So. That was the hardest part. Because you love your mom and you love your dad. You don't know what side to take. You know it's wrong, but...
Did they ever make you feel like you had to pick sides?
No. And I know Grandma loved my dad. I know she did. Because the shit she went through with it.
Of course.
What I learned over the years from his sisters... more stuff we won't talk about. Grandma lived with him. She did love him. Mm-hmm.
You said you feel like you're the black sheep. Why did you particularly feel like you're the black sheep?
Because it's really started affecting my teenage years.
When you felt like you're a black sheep? So your childhood, you didn't really feel like a black sheep. You were just not trying to be there.
I just wanted to be my grandma. I wanted to be with Grandma Ruth. Because that's where I felt the safest. Mm-hmm. Of her house. But I knew it was only limited of going to her house. Because I didn't have no way there but except to Grandma. Mm-hmm. So, my dad was hardly ever home. He worked, but he was hardly ever home. And,
Alright, so your teenage years, this is when you started seeing, like a change. How was Grandma with like nurturing? Like what kind of mom? I know you said that she would always give you gifts, but like in terms of affection, how was that? Like
she gave affection, like especially around holidays. That's her most affectionate time. She enjoys holidays.
So what age were you when you saw that there was like a difference or maybe a change?
When Auntie was going on at 12.
So she left and went for good?
Yeah, she said she wanted to go stay with Nona.
Okay. So you were by yourself, basically. Yeah. Okay.
It's supposed to be another sister, but we're not certain. Nobody never pursued the issue. But Grandma knew he was a cheater. And I saw the difference. How I got more whoopings for certain stuff. I always got blamed for certain stuff. And I know it seemed like the hurt was coming out on me because of what he did, and now he was gone. Mm-hmm. 5 or 6, he took me from the house, and he basically had me in the streets with him, in the bars. So, Grandma Ruth was like, bring her here, I'll let him see her. Mm-hmm. But he would take her from her house and hand me up and down the hill. So it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. It was on the north side, but I care. He was known everywhere.
Where is he from?
The hill.
Oh my goodness, Mom, you was messing with them hill. Oh, hold on, no. Grandma was messing with them hill dudes. Grandma's from the hill too?
Grandma lived on the hill for years.
Where's Nana from?
Auburn, Alabama.
Wow. So we got family in Alabama. Melbourne.
Yeah, wherever that is. Country bumpkins.
So we got family that we don't know about. So we know that your escape was Grandma Ruth.
But the grandma shoot me off a lot because she was trying to follow my she wasn't with me, but she was trying to follow.
Yeah.
And so between Grandma Ruth and Aunt Timmy's, that's where I was at.
Okay.
It seemed like she always pointed me off.
And then
that's why a lot of time I spent as a little girl was with Auntie Sean. Okay. And then, you know, the trauma that
the trauma of what?
A cousin Levy.
And that's Aunt Honey's brother. Or son. Yeah. Okay.
That's Auntie Sean's brother.
And he was older.
Nobody ever believed us.
So you guys did like say something.
We tried to show it on a Barbie doll.
So did you guys like talk about that? Like that's how you were going to, or just what you remember?
That's just what I
remember. Okay. Tell me about Perry, because that's 9th grade, right? So you was like 14. So tell me about your
Well, I had a self-esteem issue since middle school.
Middle school. I mean, middle school's hard though.
Nah,
because I did too.
Issue. First of all, because I said I felt that I wasn't wanted because I was always shipped off somewhere. I was home, but I was always shipped off on somebody. Mainly Grandma Ruth or with Auntie Sean. She was always forced to babysit me. I never felt ready. Then I used to always get teased by my sister. You too pretty. This and that. Used to beat me up. Break my stuff. Reason why I'm claustrophobic. She smothered me with pillows. So I smothered me. So too pretty. My escape was going to school. But that's why I didn't really put no effort on what I wore to school. You know.
You didn't care.
I didn't care. Then, what really put it coming back, I started my period in Allegheny, middle school. Tried to call, get help. My godmom, Marie Francis, is the one that took me to the store to get my first pads. 7th grade, I just said, fuck it. I just started fighting. I mean, I never had the greatest clothes. I tried to find happiness and trying to buy my friends. And then I met Miss Maria.
Is this still in middle school? So you met Miss Maria. So she was like basically like was she your only friend or?
I mean, I always tried to be a people person, but it seemed like I was living my life to get attention from everybody else and live to make them happy. I wasn't living for myself because I didn't care. I really wasn't one of them. You
stopped. Well, you did, but you stopped because when you did, that's when you would get picked on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, my self-esteem was shot because I never was a hair person.
You had nice, thick.
I didn't know how to do my
thick hair.
I didn't know nothing about hair.
And you had long hair too.
And nobody didn't want to do my hair. I wanted to just put 2 pigtails in my hair. That was it. I wasn't a popularity in middle school or high school.
You wasn't popular?
No. How I got to know a lot of people was through Miss Maria. That's why at the class reunions, I really don't like going because I was more interactive with the football team than I didn't go to really none of the pep rallies and none of that. Unless Maria went. She introduced me to a lot of people.
So if she wasn't there, would you get like picked on or anything?
I just isolated myself.
Oh, okay.
I used to go to school and come home. Yeah.
Did you get good grades?
I always got good grades. I mean, I always made honor roll. Always made high honor roll.
Did it matter? Did grandma care?
We used to get for every A and all that, but that deleted out. And that's when I started coming out my shell a little bit, you know, and then that's why I started hanging with her down her house. And her mom got arrested. So she had no fuck. She told like that, this is what you do. You go up there and stand up there and tell them motherfuckers to kiss your ass. That's how she talk. But I care for you. Welcome down here. I don't care what your mother say. Mm-hmm. If you feel protected down here, you come down here. I will never forget that woman. At any time, there was a time that I needed her, especially, for protection. And if we got into fights or whatever, Mama asked her right there. Mm-hmm. So Grandma Ruth was still my support system. That was always my main support system. What really the effects I felt black sheep is when my other sister was born.
Okay, so they moved in with each other and then had auntie, and then you said that's when you really found out that, or you really felt like you were the black sheep then. Why?
Because one thing, I didn't ever see it with Nona. I noticed it. People, my friends notice it. She has a thing for light skin
complexion. So you were the darker?
I was the darker skin. And like, I tried, one thing for certain, yes, I'm talking about your father. I know he be talking to me at one point. I don't care what nobody say, and I try to explain this to my other siblings, and I didn't realize, like, oh, he, maybe a lot of his pain came out through what he did, because he never knew his father. Grams took that to her grave. I don't even think Pap even knew who his father was. Pap came into his life when he was 2. Grandma was by herself. I don't think she never was over my dad because she really loved it, and all the stuff that they've been through together, what happened, then I came along, whatever, and she had she always worked, but he had her caught up in the streets, whatever. I don't know the ins and outs what he did, but I know she followed the ins of her phone. First of all, I always felt uncomfortable because I wasn't wanted. Because him and when Daddy left.
Did you feel wanted with him?
Yeah, even though he had me in the bars.
Yeah.
I was hanging.
I mean, Dee Dee's dad had us in the bar. My dad had us in the bar.
No, I've just said. See,
that's what I'm saying.
You never told me that one.
Do you know about Dee Dee's dad?
No.
We was in JR's. I remember a couple of times we was in that one on East Ohio Street, and then the one on Federal Street, the one over in the corner. We was at that bar too. I be looking at it now like this nigga really had us down in the dirty, nasty, and he must have been watching us though, because nobody was messing with us.
Yeah, he knew everybody. He was like, oh, it took somebody was solid because he was like,
your dad.
No, Dee Dee's dad. When JR was on the corner.
We'll get to that part.
Sorry.
All right. So we're in high school, and you said that you made friends. You weren't really like that social unless you were with Miss Randy and Miss Maria. All right. So we can talk about when I was born, like so a little bit up on like how you met my dad and me being born and how that was for you in school and stuff. Did my dad go to Perry?
No, your dad was from McKeesport.
Oh my God, why was you messing with so hard over there?
Because your dad was fat as hell back in the day.
Oh my God.
And then he was smoking weed, dude. That's when they was regular weed.
How'd you meet my dad?
Hanging out. I started hanging in the streets. Don't ask me how, and don't ask me how I did it, because I ain't had the most money. Used to hang in the street. I started being promiscuous and trying to get attention, because I wasn't getting in the house. And mainly it was men. I did some things that I didn't want to, things that I liked, but it felt like it was resolving the issue at that time. First, not being wanted at home, and when you come home from school and you find out that your sister and brother went to Kennywood and you didn't, how would you feel? that you just got left. When you get in, you try to start smoking cigarettes. You get made to eat a whole pack of cigarettes. Then you start wetting the bed. So you get made to stand outside with underwear on your head, with pissy drawers on your head. Um, then, but me and you got, okay, you respect him, but he's with everything that goes down. I mean, he always treated me like his daughter, and I told him I'll never forget that. He never did no harm to me or to take it, but by a person being so controlling, being a dominant, and I feel she got it from him because of the dominancy he put on her, so she take it out on something weaker. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn that on my own, being through therapy with that. So I started going to the street to try to get try to make my own therapeutic measures, and majority of us got. And I started loving too hard and didn't fuck about everything else besides myself. I didn't care. Thank God I didn't get AIDS or nothing. Never had no car, but I steal cars.
What? Oh my goodness.
Never had no car.
This is in high school?
Huh?
This is in high school? Dang. So did you get caught? Wow.
Because basically I was still a car for dudes I was with.
Oh my goodness. So you was like the ride or die like that. Like.
And hanging out my keys for Maria wasn't going.
Right.
She wasn't going nowhere past the north. She wasn't with it. And Mama Esther wasn't with it neither. If you take your ass across the bridge, I'm fucking you up. That's plainly what she said. That was Mama Esther.
How did y'all meet?
I just drinking at a cookout or somebody's damn house. I don't know who the hell.
All right, so how was y'all hanging out?
We just got introduced. This is chaos.
Oh my god. And it's crazy. I don't know if I told them that was like, what his name like was. All right, go ahead.
And then, because your grandma worked at AGH Hospital. I ain't never had my own place, so we saw each other when we was at, because he wasn't coming to Lorraine's house.
Yeah. So wherever y'all was at, that's when you saw each other.
That's when we saw each other. But your dad has a gift of gab. He can talk somebody into some shit. No matter what color you is, he can talk you into some shit. I don't know whose cribs we would stand, but we never slept outside. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, I live on the north side. I got you. I don't know whose house. It wasn't the greatest house. I know it was Jets, but at least we had a roof over our head and the bed to lay.
Would you still go to school?
Yeah.
Or this is like on the weekends and stuff? Oh, okay.
Maybe on the weekend. But if I would still go to school, and then when I get home, I get my ass whooped because I ain't coming out home. But
so how did you find out you was pregnant?
With Raymond?
I just wanted to know how, like, you met Raymond's dad and how.
Hanging out home with. I got sick, but then I was like, something wrong with my stomach. I thought it was just episode, so that's why I went to the doctor. They said I was pregnant. Then I got bigger and bigger. I tried to connect him. I knew where he lived at, but he had to leave the phone number, to leave everything. And I physically went to his house. And I said, I'm pregnant. He said, no, you're not. I said, what that look like? I swallowed a basketball.
Mm-hmm. So how did everything go with that? How did Grandma take that?
Grandma was upset. She was upset. But, hey, because she didn't know him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I said, I wasn't getting attention at home, so it was the consequences I got. Mm-hmm. That being something I really had got pregnant and got AIDS.
And AIDS was, like, I guess, a big thing. Okay. So how did everything happen with him, with Raymond? How were you feeling when you found out you got pregnant?
My self-esteem was still shot because finally I had some happiness. Like, okay, I got a baby, and at least I'll have somebody to connect with. But then I get further and further. Grandma would take me to my doctor's appointments.
She would not?
Would.
Okay.
Because she was nosy.
Mm-hmm.
And she just had started nursing. And then,
what happened with Raymond?
I just remember I had a scheduled doctor's appointment, and I couldn't. I was getting heartburn real bad, like you had,
Mm-hmm.
and my stomach was a ton. I used to feel them, but I had a doctor's appointment, for a checkup, and next thing you know, when they always eat before you go to the doctor for an hour, we gotta keep you. I'm like, oh shit, I knew I should stop the hot dogs. I was bad to do it, but they ain't had a heartbeat.
He didn't have a heart.
So
how was that for you?
I was a high risk pregnancy. They told me my uterus had to go to so far, and it stopped. That's probably why you had to get sick.
How were you when all of this?
Up.
Yeah.
But I just said they never diagnosed me of how he died. I never really found out. I got what I was told, supposed to be through grandma, and this supposed to be wannabe nurse today, but they never showed me no paperwork of how my son died.
Was he born
dead? I had the birthday. That hurt me so much. I think that's when my depression started. And it was already on top of the self-esteem thing. Mm-hmm. Because I was so up in the air, okay, first, his death, then I had to think, because Grandma always had us in church. Now I think about, okay, maybe God trying to tell me that you wasn't ready for a child, and he took your son because he knew he wasn't going to be properly taken care of. So he took him so he can be in a better place. I had to think that way to try to mindset myself, because like them, I couldn't find Raymond nowhere. They ain't live in that house no more. Phone number change. I ain't looked up.
So he was named after the guy.
Yeah, Raymond.
Oh, okay.
Well, I put Mon instead of Raymond.
Yeah.
That was another crash in blood. Then I started thinking about the memories at y'all when I was younger. That triggered a lot, or whatever. So I started running over Grandma Ruth. I used to walk from North Side all the way to the hill. And Pappy should bring me right back up. But it was hard because I didn't really have a support system. I didn't really have nobody.
And you just lost your baby, you know?
But one thing I can say, that's why Grandma get mad, but all I remember is when I held my son, all I remember is Parker's face. I've been in the room, and he was holding my hand. I don't remember nobody else in that room except him. And I told him always, I will never ever forget that. Never ever forget that. Because that was the most needed time I needed somebody. Don't want to get mad when I said it. Said, well, how the heck you think he got there? I don't know. I don't care. I just remember his face. So I'll start being in the streets. I start drinking, smoking weed, hanging with your father.
Then I came shortly after, or?
Cause I never did drugs. I only smoked weed. But your dad used to have me between Alabama.
What was my dad doing drugs?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of drugs?
Your dad used to do balloons, like shoe heroin.
What?
He used to sell it. Then he started using it. How I found out he used it, Billy used to shoot between his toes.
Did my grandma know?
I know she knew. But your grandma protected her son to the end.
That's what my Aunt Lori said too.
Billy could rob a bank. That wasn't my son. That wasn't my son. That's how she was. She protected her son to the end. To the end. And
so, how did you find out you were pregnant with me? How was your thoughts after, what happened with Raymond?
I was happy because God was blessing me with another chance. Um, and I was just praying that I make it my full term.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted. I didn't care about nothing else. About just making it to my full term. Every time I went to the doctor, I was nervous that I wasn't going to go back out.
So, was my dad involved when you told him? Did he? What about my grandma?
Your grandma was.
Okay.
Your grandma, every time I went to AGA, she was at AGA. I'm here. What's going on? I connected with your grandma a lot.
So how did you know that something was going on with me? So your water just broke, basically.
Yeah, my water broke and you turned and I couldn't dilate no more.
Okay.
My uterus wouldn't grow no more, go no more. And they said if you would have continued to grow, it would have suffocated you.
Okay. Now that makes sense.
How Lamar came in the picture? Because I was talking to Lamar and I felt.
And Lamar was from where? Northview, right?
Yeah.
I had to find that out. Well, no. I don't think it said Northview. But
I like the way Lamar carried himself. I met him in Perry.
So he went to Perry.
He went to Perry.
So is he in that yearbook?
I don't think, not mine. He graduated with Miss Randy. I think it's a year or two before me and Miss Maria.
So he would be, because your yearbook is year 12. Dang. I'm like, I want to see what this nigga look like.
Because he was a very good artist. Lamar could draw his ass off. He did map the work. And I liked what he cared about. His family was oriented and together, and that's what I wanted for them,
So Lamar thought that, like, through the whole pregnancy, he thought that I was his? Okay. He signed a birth certificate. Mm-hmm. Okay, because I'm like, how did this dude get on my birth certificate? He was born, though. Yeah.
But he signed it. And Miss McCoy and them, they always treated you like you were there. Mm-hmm. And then I had to break. Lamar took it well. He said, I was uncertain about it, but by the way I felt about you, I just took it, and
so he liked you.
Mm-hmm. So I felt wanted with his family. Then
why didn't you pursue it with him? Because of me? Because I wasn't his? Mm-hmm. And you went to my dad, or like who did you like more?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Because, like I said, at first, I knew my dates, but I was basically with both of them. But I wanted a family oriented for you to have a father figure in your life. Yeah. So, and he went with the flow. So, I was born, and Paco was there again. Paco was there.
How did Grandma feel about you being pregnant again?
I was older and I was going to graduate, so she always had, like I said, a thing. It felt like she had something against me. I always felt that. All the way through from middle school to high school, I always felt like she had something against me.
So, I'm born, and Dee Dee came shortly after, right?
2 years.
Yeah. So, was my dad involved from my baby, like me, until then?
Your dad didn't meet you till the court system. He was in prison.
So, he
knew that you were here because I connected with your... I went to AGH with you.
So, he was in jail when I was born? Okay. And
then I finally said, in my heart, I have to let her know that she is her daughter.
Yeah.
And from now on, she was the only way I can get information to do it. I think I was already traumatized from being raised, of what I seen, to the two incidents that happened with me, to being basically abused by my sibling. At first, she thought it was Maurice's, the mass murderer.
Whoa.
No,
Who did?
Grandma.
How did you meet that guy?
Maurice.
Or you just knew everybody? I mean, you just knew him,
I knew
but
Maurice
you wasn't.
first, but Maurice was gone for a while, and then he came back into my life.
Okay.
You know, but I was already talking to your father.
Okay.
I didn't think about one thing I say about your dad. That nigga, you can have a ball. But I saw your dad do a lot of stuff, like pimping, drugging. He kept money. He always had a car. Whether it was legal or not, he always had a car. But then seeing the aspect of how he treated women. One thing I say, he never treated me bad. He never treated me bad. Even though he had to walk to the end of the earth. But I saw a lot of stuff with your dad. Yeah, your dad the one that taught me how to shoot a gun.
Was your dad still coming in and out of your life, or
My dad moved out of the city.
okay? Did he ever try to reach out to you, or was it just like a wrap from there?
He took me when I was living home when I was 16, 17. When he married Brenda. And she didn't like that too much. Of me staying there.
So, okay.
But it seemed like...
But was it like grandma wouldn't let him? Or... Because, like, my thoughts... Yeah, I always thought that he wasn't in your life.
Yeah. He would sleep at home. You know what I'm saying? He would come home. He mainly was in the street doing his thing. After he do his thing, then he come home. I'm
talking about like my childhood, and like I want you to like
your
so
childhood?
that you can. No, I want to talk about my childhood, and you can fill in the blanks because I want to tell you like how I felt about like certain things or how I remember it as a child, and like you could tell me your point of view.
Okay. I just want to say this last thing.
Go ahead.
I always felt I was obligated to do the most for you and your sister because of what I would do, and I didn't want y'all to go through that same pain. And I felt y'all was my only happiness to something. And I know I was soft in a lot of ways, and I felt that if I always got downgraded because I had y'all, because I was promiscuous.
But didn't Aunt Toodles have kids too?
Yeah, but I don't know what the difference was because I got humiliated, I got talked about, y'all got talked about. Shoot, how you get talked about in the Church of God, a house of God, and then what really came when y'all got taken.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I want to get to that,
okay.
Like, of how that, like, how that started. Well, not really, but, my point of view on things. My earliest memories was in High Street, the High Street house. Mm-hmm. And I do remember Christmases. Like, that's all I remember. The Christmas where I opened everybody's gifts. Yep. Like, I remember that because I remember opening stuff like, why would Santa give this to me? Like, did I get in trouble for that?
Yeah.
Like, did I get like a whooping?
Yeah, whooping.
Because I do not remember none of that.
I held your toys the next day. Because Parker had to rewrap every damn thing.
So it was early enough, to do that.
Slid downstairs, down there.
I remember that, walking in somebody's shoes, the sunglasses, all of that. So I remember that. Like, all right, well, I'm gonna play with it. It makes sense now that you told me your part, because I remember this one time being in the kitchen and Grandma jumping on Paka, like on his back. Like, I don't know if she was biting him or like if they was fighting or what, but I just remember that particular time. I don't know what happened.
They both was on abusing substance, and and a lot of I hurt him because I know who introduced her to him.
Yeah.
So I had to feel that pain, and with you being born, I tried to cover up the pain that your father wasn't in your
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't remember, like I was telling Kezia, because the last episode I was talking about like my childhood and like, how I view it. I didn't really notice until he did come around, and that's when he would make promises and all that stuff that, never would happen. And I remember my dad told me that he tried to come, but grandma wouldn't let him, like, come sometimes. Like, he tried to come and see me.
Because it would be late at night. Your dad would have pulled up. And he said 10 hours earlier that he was coming.
So he would want to pull up late at night to come pick me up and take me? Or just to see me?
Okay. She used to try to do the hair. Only thing, that's why I never said nothing bad about it. Only thing used to piss me off for him, he would do that when we moved here. But I'm like, Billy, don't say you come.
So, yeah, I have that. But then I have, of course, the memories of what happened. Like, and then from then on, everything is black. And I don't remember until, I started being with my grandma. And then I feel like that's when my dad would try to come into my life, but he still was MIA. Like, it was just me and my grandma and my granddad over there, I don't remember too much about like Dee Dee, but I do remember like coming when you used to live on Brighton Place, like coming there and we would have so much fun, but then like it would be time to go like late at night and then we would be like crying, not wanting to go. So I remember that. And then I remember when I finally came, I know it was a couple years because I got a bunch of memories at my grandma's house, but when I remember that day when I finally was coming back to you, we were at a park. We were on a field trip, Shenley Park. I remember because once I went there, I was like, dang, this is the park when I was, a kid. But I just remember two people coming to get me and I had to get in this car, like with them, like, and then my grandma was there and that's when I end up being with you. But with that, I think I got a lot of memories of us, like, having fun. But then I got a lot of memories of you being sad. And sometimes, like, you screaming and stuff. And just like how you just said, like, you were kind of like the people person because, like, you wanted that attention. I feel like that's exactly how I was. Like, I think I wanted to, like, just be good, and because I didn't want to get taken away again,
Yeah. You were saying what they wanted to hear.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, when it was with you, I feel like we had to start learning each other, like, all over again. I do remember that Mr. Mari's guy. I remember us dancing with him, and then like you end up telling me something like, I don't remember when I found out that, like, he was like a murderer and stuff. And huh? I know. I was just saying, like, I don't remember like when you told me, but definitely remember that. But I think when we're talking about like good memories and bad memories, I think the one bad memory that I remember on Brighton Place is when something was going on with you to the point where you took us to the back Aunt Cousin Tattie's house and you left us with them, and it was basically like we didn't know what you were like doing. You were like crying, and I don't know, I just remember it being like a really bad time, and we're like screaming, telling you not to leave, and I felt like you were leaving us with this person and she wasn't that good, there was stuff like, with that. So just being taken away once and then having to like feel like I was getting taken away, then I feel like that's a sticking point, like, of the fear of, people coming out of my life.
Because we were fighting and I didn't want y'all to see it.
Who?
Me and Maurice.
Oh, I didn't even know he was still there. I just remember.
That's when I cracked him with the iron skillet and he choked me out.
Wow.
Because I pushed 911 first and then heard the whole thing, but he choked me out.
And then the police came?
And took him to his mom's.
Wow. And I'm over here thinking like something bad was happening to you, like you were gonna go like kill yourself or something, like, cause you were just, I don't know. It was just that's my memory of that. And then of course, but you know, Dee Dee's dad, like he always he kind of took the place of my dad, you know, even though I knew he wasn't. But and the fact that, like, you know, how he treated Dee Dee, you know, I was always a little jealous of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's not much I can do about it. I don't know if I voiced that to you.
Yeah, you did. And I told you, I said, because he felt that way till he said, I know I'm not a real dad, but I understand how she feels. All I can do but so much because I'm not a real father, and she see what me and him talked about that. And I expect you that, I know that's not your father, but he loves you like you his daughter.
Yeah.
And because you saw Dee Dee always wanted to go to her grandma's and that, you know, and how they interacted with each other. And I know you wanted that, and I always used to blame myself because you didn't have that. But I had to learn that wasn't me. But I felt that pain was coming. Just like the pain that when he did pop up and try to acknowledge himself to you, I tried, but then you do something dumb. Like when he had you sit on the porch for 2 hours, you fell asleep with the baby doll on the porch.
Yeah, I do remember that. And I actually wrote about that. Like, I felt like my relationship with him was only when he was in jail. That's when he would write me letters and I would actually get to know him. I mean, yeah, there were some times when I would go with him. I remember some of the times being with him, but I do remember him being a womanizer. He would pick the women who...
most vulnerable.
Exactly. And then he would use those words like, this is my fiance. Oh, we're getting married. He would say to their kids, like, oh, these are my sons, my daughters, so that, like, they can feel like, you know, it's a family. Like, I've been noticed that. Ryan.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, all of those. But there were, like, you know, little times when we would be playing with lightning bugs or, like, you know, just playing. But he never would come around, you know. He would always be a la Copa, like he would be everywhere. And I appreciate my grandma, like, for still, like, you know, even when I did get taken, well, when I got back here, she still tried to make a way to
But she even tried to pay his child support, you know that. But it was too much for her. She was on a fixed income.
Yeah.
But she tried. And they denied her since she was trying to give it to me. I said, I can't control what these people do, but I had to because we were on welfare.
Yeah.
And I had to make us survive. So, I'm just tell her, that's why I tried to be so affectionate to y'all.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, your perspective is different than my perspective because I do think on one end there are times where I remember you being affectionate or like you being overly affectionate because you used to have like wet kisses and stuff. I'm like, ew, like slobbery. Like, I remember that. But then I remember times when you would be so angry, you know, and like you would, I'm not going to say like take it out on us, but like displace your anger like on us. I think with teenagers, like obviously there's always like, you know, button head. I always wanted to know why you didn't like talk to me about like periods and stuff. Like about sex and like that issue. Cause like we never really talked about it, but like you like it was like we were I was already doing it basically. And this is before like, you know, you found like I think it was like birth control or something. But
we talked briefly about it, but it was like no. So like, I didn't never want y'all to feel pressure like I did. Like here, you got to, you know. I don't want y'all. I wanted to. I wanted to be your mother as well as comfy for y'all can come to me about anything.
But that's what I'm saying. I didn't feel like we could though, because of how it was brought up. Yeah, the period. I do remember calling you when my period first started. Like I remember that part, but I didn't know anything. Like I remember Miko showing me how, like, you know, to use a tampon.
But I tried to be as lean as possible. Okay, this is what can happen if you have sex or protection, whatever.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't remember you talking about that. I just remember us being outside.
I talked to y'all about it, but I wasn't harsh about it.
I remember us being outside one summer, and that's when everybody would be on our house, and you brought me up to your room, and you were just like, "Are you fucking?" And then that's all I was like, and I remember it because my friends was telling me like, "Oh, we heard you," like they were laughing at me, and it was just like almost to the point where it's like, well, maybe I should, like, you know, because I'm getting like accused of it, and I don't know how many years after.
Told me that before when we had a conversation.
Yeah,
you did express it to me.
And I remember when I was thinking about it, and Planned Parenthood was everything. I went and I got birth control, and I just remember you finding that, or how I see it and how I viewed it. Like, you know, you were angry, like you know, are you fucking, or, you know, taking me to the doctor, like. And I'm like, I just remember like, no, they're not checking me, because I remember it was a field trip at school that I couldn't go to because I had to go to the doctor, and no, they're not checking me, like, you know. So it's just like little things like that. When I had the boyfriend, well, I say the kind of people that we are, I think that's why we didn't turn out to be like kind of like hoes. Right. Because we had a lot of time on our hands, like, you know, because you had to work. I think sometimes you was working like 2 jobs and stuff, like, so just coming home, we had that time where it could, you know, there's boys around the house and stuff, not around the house, but around the the neighborhood.
But I knew I had what I had installed y'all of trusting y'all to a certain extent, you know. I knew y'all were going to do sneaky stuff. That's teenager, period. You know, that's a part of the DNA of a teenager. You know, but like I said, on the sexual thing, I didn't want y'all to feel harsh that, oh, you're going to family planning, you're going on birth control, and they get shoved down your throat. This is for, or throwing condoms at you, you know, or whatever. I wanted y'all to feel comfortable. When y'all ready, just make sure you protect yourself.
Yeah, you know? I mean, it sounds good, but that's not how, like, you know, I viewed that.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and then once I don't remember with the first little boyfriend, you know, this was because, you know, our family, they always was back and forth, or, you know, we felt like we were the black sheep, you know, Chanel's gonna be the first one to get pregnant and stuff. Yeah.
Y'all always, and that's another thing. That's why it took me a long time, and therapy helped me so much to be assertive towards. I know I still need to work on a lot of stuff, but that's why me to stand up for me and y'all, because I got tired of being blackballed. Then my kids being blackballed. As y'all got older, they start coming more and more. I got tired. And then regardless if it wasn't about me or y'all, it was about your dad. Between Daryl and Billy. Yeah, Billy wasn't the person it was, but y'all here. That's who the person was with. Even with Daryl. That man did the how the earth. Y'all talked about him like a dog. Or whatever the hell. Y'all always got black moms. Or talking about whatever because whose child y'all was. You know, so.
And I feel like once I had my.
Because the first time before y'all was even a thought with the promiscuous with me, I was in St. Francis Hospital. Twice. Trying to commit suicide. You know, that's why I think sometimes I thought I was too lean, but I had an open relationship. Y'all came to me with comfortability. Yeah, y'all got discipline for a wrong thing, but I should have directed more I probably didn't talk about sexual stuff more because of my past, and I felt uncomfortable saying it to y'all. That's why I try to be probably as least nonchalant about it as possible. No, because I didn't want y'all to feel forced into nothing, because that's probably what happened to me. I felt, okay, fuck it, I'll just get five then. I'm getting more attention from them than I am at home.
And I also felt like, with Taj, like, he had a mom and a dad and, like, family members and stuff, and they treated me like I was their daughter, and that's why I was so, like, I was over there all the time, because
and I know you were suffering a lot of pain because, especially when Dee was born and by her dad being physically there, I know you felt it. I know you did. That's why you stayed home a lot. Your girlfriends, you can stay at my house. You ain't want to stay nowhere, nigga.
Cause I don't trust nobody. You can come to my house. Can they stay here?
Can they stay tonight? Like, no, you want to say no. Like, okay, but you was where you was comfortable at. Did what I thought was the best of trying to keep y'all protected and make y'all more comfortable to come to me, whether a teenager or as an adult. I don't want my kids to grow up like I did with the pain, the suffering, the shit that I went through. And I tried my damnedest to do it. But like I said, going back to Maria, even Miss Tawana don't know my whole history, but she gives me insights of Vina. Look where your girls at. You, not one, both of them graduated from college. They ain't out here in these streets. They doing something for themselves. And she said, even look at me. I got all these kids. Look how far I came. But you didn't have to take all the kids to realize what your life was like. That's what I did. I had to do to get my tubes tapped. Because I know I was out there.
Yes, fertile, huh?
Fertile, myrtle.
But I think it's crazy that you struggled in middle school, because I feel like that's where everybody, like, that's where the bullying stuff starts.
Transfer over to.
Because I went to Rooney. No, I was in Rooney the whole middle school. Yeah, but that's when, like, everybody else was starting to grow around me, and I realized, like, oh, I'm short, and that was the only thing that, like, people would really say. We didn't have that. We had decent clothes, but, like, we had to wait until, like, Christmas or, like, holidays to get, like, some real. You would give us clothes, but then you would buy us big clothes saying that you gonna grow into it. I never grew into it. I still got some clothes. I swear to goodness, I still got clothes that I still have yet to grow into, that you thought that I was gonna grow. Right? Like, you'll grow into them, you'll grow in. So just definitely I had some insecurities 6th and 7th grade, and up until the end of 8th grade I was like, I'm going to Perry, nobody else is going there, like, like, it was like a fresh start. But that summer, I think because of the people that I was around, it kind of like steered me into, like, it could have been like even really wild, but I'm glad it was just a summer, because we were going to our own stuff. But that's when that period where I was struggling, and I feel like it was the same with you. I was struggling trying to get attention, like some kind of male attention. I felt like just seeing you with, like, men, I never wanted to. I wanted to always have somebody, like, I don't even know why. I guess all girls, like, we all want that. What's it called?
You love art like I do, and just like right now.
But I was young, always wanting a relationship.
But right now, our struggle, I still got to this day. It's hard for me I mean, I'm doing it, but it's hard for me to feel like I have to be with somebody to make me feel better.
Once I got to high school, you know, it was just like I'm a new person. Like I get to start over, and that's when I got to dress how I wanted to dress. And you know, we're in heels. They thought I was like, you know, older and stuff, but I think that's when things just started getting better. But I think that it kind of got a little hard for us until like I went off to college, because I feel like we was butting heads so much. And I don't know if it was just because of Taj, because I always wanted to be over there, or like, you know, the people that you confide in, we know how that goes, and then like they bring it to me in the most harsh way like possible. And it was just like that, because like, you know, I saw you and how hard you held on to people. I felt like I probably had that, like, that's probably why I wanted to hold on, like, you know, and that was very toxic.
Hold on to something that don't want to be held on. I'm guilty of that, and I think, and why, I don't know why, but I feel like that a little bit that way right now. Only thing is I just want you and your sister and include myself. I just want you to be happy. I don't care who the fuck you with. I just, only thing I feel, I'm getting older. I hate being alone. I hate being alone.
But I feel like when there's opportunities, you've been like, you know, in the house so long that you don't even want to do anything anymore. Like when there are times that you can.
You know, that's why I've been making myself go out more. I just been making myself like go out to the mall by myself, go out to Ross Park. Like I went out to the first mall where Burlington's at. I just went and got my feet done, got my nails done, went to Burlington, just walked the whole strip, met a couple people. You know,
all you need to do is just go out and have fun, like, and you will have, like, you know, people. And then with the whole the new age stuff, there's so many different like especially with the pandemic and stuff, people are starting to see like, damn, I need to stop, like, and have a family, and like, you know. But there's a lot of different dating apps, because people are doing it now like this because of the pandemic. But you just got to be open to it, and like, you know, the thing is, if they ain't doing what they need to do right then and there, you gotta let it go now before you even have feelings. That's what I learned how to do, because you know, exactly. And then I learned that like I can have a boyfriend, but like I might not be like it, I might be settling, because they might be doing something that I don't like. But the fact that I have a boyfriend, you know, like with the first one, like, you know, with him, so toxic and stuff. And I feel like college saved me with that, because like I saw that I got all of this stuff going for me. I don't have to take this, like, you know, like I got a future, you know. So, and then like I was starting to develop new friends and stuff like that. So I think that's what saved me from that person. But yeah, I just feel like I always wanted to, you know, have a person, even if they weren't like all the way good for me. Or say if we thought about something, like, you know, thought about having kids, like, well, you know, I had everything else checked off to me, like, you know, and then I thought that it was safe to start a family with this person, you know, and then that's what happened. But with the whole reparenting, like, you know, your inner child, I was thinking about all of this stuff, like, you know, and then like hearing some of the new stuff that I didn't even know about, like looking at that, like looking at those pictures that I took, like, you know, that little girl. They say that you should look at that person with, like, you know, your perspective, like not that child's perspective, because at that time your knowledge is limited, you know, like, so it's only your mom and dad, or like, you know, whoever's around you, like you can't understand why certain things are happening. And now, like, hearing all the things that you went through, I understand, like, you know, how we were brought up. And yeah, we kind of were fortunate, you know, to have the things that we did have. And
I was like month to month, okay, new mom, okay, first she did they'll help a little bit, but and you know me, I like.
But how did you? Because I know that I want to know from your perspective on, like, how I was when I was giving you pushback and stuff. Because I feel like, being the first kid, we get all of the rules and stuff. I was scared of you. Like, it was to the point where one of the time I was with Taj and I fell asleep, and it's nighttime. I'm like, oh my god, my mom is going to flip, and I really climbed my room, climbed the roof to get in the house because the door was locked. Like, like, so it was like to that extreme. Like, I didn't want you to know, like, what happened. Like, just literally just being over there too long, Or there was a time when we wasn't even doing anything, and then you looking like my hair is done, messed up, and he's like, "Are you fucking?" Or stuff like that. And I'm like, so it made me feel like it, even if I was to be doing that, like, I don't know if I can all the way, like, tell you about it, because I don't think that you approved.
Anything I looked at her face, I was just going to ask you flat out.
Yeah. And maybe you wasn't even screaming at me, but to me, in my head, how I remember, I'm like, I hear you screaming, and then what the people outside, because they heard you, that probably was the reason why I'm thinking, like, every time you would ask me, you're screaming, like, and then, like, you read my diary. That's why I stopped. Yes, that's why I stopped telling on myself. I felt like, you know what, I'm not doing that, like, anymore, because I'm not telling on myself. And now I wish, because I used to love writing, like, but now I wish that I had those, but I had to stop, like, because anything, I felt like you were fine. We should have, like, I don't think that we talked about sex enough openly for me to come to you, like, what stuff like that, like, that information, because I feel like you made it clear at an early age that you better not, like, sex is bad, you better not be doing that, like, that's just not what you should be doing. So that's kind of how, like, I saw it, and then I felt like you didn't like this person anyway, like,
being a teenager is always your risk takers. You're always going to go for that challenge. Y'all knew how far to go, or what to do in anything. That's why y'all didn't get that many ass whoopings.
I feel like I got a lot.
You got a lot for your sister, because you kept taking the blame for shit. Until, because Didi would rat you out quick when the belt came out.
That's why you ain't have no belt.
I know. Didi
like, you couldn't even have a belt to put your pants on. Like,
Didi
nope.
would rat you out when it came to a belt. But that's why I said, but y'all was open a lot of things. I knew y'all had boyfriends. I knew what I needed to know.
But how did you feel? I want to know how you felt from your side in those times, like, when we would, like, butt heads. I feel like it was bad, like, right before I went to college, like, that year.
And y'all knew the rules of the house. You knew the respectful of the house. And, that was it. But it just...
I just feel like the one time when I wanted the holiday, I think maybe Thanksgiving or something, I wanted to, like, have it, like, I wanted to be at both, but it was the biggest issue to the point where that family member had said to me, well, your mom could have flushed you down the toilet.
Yeah,
and that's something that I take with me today that still sticks with me, because it's like, I didn't deserve to be talked to like that. It didn't matter what I was doing. Like, so basically you're saying, like, you didn't have to be there.
And that's what and like I said, I didn't know what was going on.
This is when the time when I wanted to just spend time with my boyfriend's family and my family. And I get there, and this person tells me this.
So I didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah, but then it would be like, like rumors that we jumped you.
No. But like I said, there's going to be rumors regardless of what. That's what I remember you brought this to my attention before. And I don't know if you remember, there's always going to be something said.
Yeah.
No matter with family, without family.
With this whole reparenting, like your inner child, like I'm able to, and with my mental health background,
you're able to analyze.
Yeah,
more.
I'm able to see, like, you know, what, when I had Bryce, I was 25. Like, you were still a child when you had kids, you know, and then like you were still struggling with things with grandma, and I always knew that, but I didn't know, like, you know, in the detail, because you never like really told us what was really going on. But I feel like it kind of was displaced on us, like, you know, in a, not in a crazy way, but it's always going to be in a way that a child takes it. Like, so we're going to take it to the extreme. And now looking back at it, what, like, as an adult, I understand, like, you know, how you went and why you did the things that you did. That's what I was trying to
explain to you when we was in the car. That I didn't probably know I was doing it, but a lot of effects that came out on y'all, it wasn't intentionally, you know. And that's why I knew I beat myself up a lot of shit that I did. And I thought I wasn't doing a great job with y'all. I'm just glad we to the point we're at now. That's why it hurt me so bad that week that I didn't see y'all after Memorial Day. Because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Because I know, especially you, I normally talk to you every day. And seeing them two, you know, that hurt shit out of me. I went over to her and was crying like she said, Vina, what's wrong? I said, I don't even know what the fuck went on.
And I was over here crying, like, because I felt like I didn't have nobody to talk to. Like, you know, we're all going through stuff, but like, I'm going through this weird period in my life, you know, and struggling with trying to figure out what's all going on with my dad, him trying to come back and out of my life. I don't need you right now. Like, you know, you've been gone my whole life. I'm grown now. Like, you know, I use the people that came into my life, not in a bad way, but like the men who were in my life, like I was able to utilize them to get me through. Yeah, I did struggle, but I think what was a gift and a curse was the fact that I wanted relationships. I didn't want to go and hoe around and stuff like that. I wanted one person so that I could say that I had that foundation to, like, you know, be built on and stuff. So that's kind of why I stayed with certain people, because when I'm with that person, I feel like it's just, it is what it is. This is what we're going to do. So I try in every way possible to get it to stay, but it wasn't until Bryce's dead where I'm like, I don't have to, you know, deal with this. Like, I know that I could be happy without this. Like, I don't like how I feel. Like, I gotta get out of this, you know. And that's when I, like, came to him and told him, like, you know, what it is and stuff.
Take the best of you, because even to this day, like, I want to be happy and just be set. I'm 48 years old. And it's like, okay, I'm with him, but then it seems like as soon as I enter it, when you change. And you ain't in there for me. It just say, okay, whatever. Sometimes I think like, damn, I done gave myself up to all these men. Like, damn, what that make me? You know?
But I don't even know why you're thinking about, like, especially like in today's age, like thinking about it like that. Everybody, we all come in contact with, like, you know, different
like,
people.
I don't want to be feel like I'm that's all the fuck we got.
I feel like you're gonna need to do something drastic, like, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone, even if it's like moving. Like, you already feel like you're by yourself, moving out of the state or something. Like, you know, it's forcing you to be in contact with new people. It's a literally a new start. And I've been feeling like that too, like, because I want to kind of move.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can't let that stop you. I'm afraid with everything that I do. And I still have to push through.
Devil?
Yes. I am afraid. I'm nervous, like, all the time. Even with this whole new platform where, like, I got a podcast, but I could easily, like, you know, cut things out and stuff. But when I'm speaking live and have to like talk to like sometimes there's like 300-400 people in this group like at this moment listening to you, like, and I just every time when they call on me, like I'm nervous, like my heart is just like beating so fast, I'm hyperventilating, but I get through it and it feels so much like it feels good, you know, because it's like this is what I want to do. I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to, you know, take how I feel about something or just be able to heal through it so that other people can heal through their stuff, so other people can talk to their moms and like, you know, and start digging into trying to figure out themselves. Yeah. But that picture that I posted on Facebook or social media, that is the one that resonated with me when the last episode when I talk about steps on how to start reparenting. Like one of those steps was get a picture and like put it somewhere, like, and actually look at that little girl as that little girl, not as you, but you know how that little girl felt, but like as that person's parent, like giving that little girl the same grace that you would a little girl that something would happen, like, you know, being able to understand. And just looking at that picture, I just be like, wow, like I still, despite all the stuff that was going on, was smiling. And
why still to this day, I mean, even with y'all, I know y'all grown, and I know y'all doing your thing, and I always say I'm proud of y'all. But why let me know you're okay? You know, I have to hear y'all voice or text or something. Let me know you're okay. That I'm obligated to y'all.
What does that mean? You're obligated? You feel obligated?
Yeah.
To what?
To that.
To reach out?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's just how it is with, like, you know, a parent, like an active parent, because they always want to know what their kid is doing and stuff like that. I just think that you never really experienced that because your mom was out doing her, so she never wanted to know, like, you know, well, what are you doing? Make sure that you're okay. That's just like what a parent is going to do. And honestly, the last situation messed me up because I feel like I've always been here trying to, I'm not saying fix things, but trying to help you through stuff. You know, I don't know if why the particular reason of why I went into the mental health field, but I wanted to understand, you know, and I feel like I do. So that's why I be trying to help in certain ways.
You was curious about what was going on with me.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted to understand because obviously I didn't at that time. And I remember in those classes, I'm like, wow, like this is like, am I diagnosing my mom? Like, you know, like the major depressive disorder, because you never talk to us about suffering from like, you know, a mental disability.
It was hard to explain to my kids what's wrong.
But that is not really what's wrong with you. And I feel like that's something that we got to start doing more of, just because, like, you know, they're your kids and yeah, they're younger. They might not even understand to the capability that they should, but like, it's okay to be vulnerable and to, like, you know, let them know that you're sad and stuff. Bryce sees me crying sometimes, like, and he'll come up and I'll be like, yeah, mommy's just sad right now. Can you just give me a hug and stuff? Like, and if he's able, I mean, he's only 4, he's not able to understand why I'm sad, but I'm not going to hide it from him. He'll remember that I consoled him and I didn't push him away, because now he thinks that is something that he did, you know? So I just think that we gotta talk to our kids about everything. We gotta talk to them about sex, especially now, because it's so easy. You can look at it on your phone and stuff like that. Especially with my little girl, watching the company that, like, anybody, kids too. Right. Like, you got to watch your kids around other kids. Like, I want her to obviously be able to come to me. It's just, we can't parent our kids. I think that's where the misconception is. We can't parent our kids how we wanted to be parent, or what we never had. Like, we got to parent them on, like, what's best for them, or like, what we wish we would have known, how they feel. Like, because they might not understand completely, but they can tell you how they feel.
I was trying not to relate the past a lot.
And you wasn't going through therapy, like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I have this, and I didn't even, that's the thing, I haven't even gone to therapy yet. Like, I'm just trying to tap into myself. I'm about to, because I need it. But I'm saying, you didn't have that resource to do that. And then, like, in the Black community, like, getting help is not a thing that you should do. And then, like, grandma, she's probably misdiagnosed, like, and she's a whole nurse, like, but she never probably went through the stuff to get diagnosed, and she didn't have those resources. I understand now, how you show up for grandma now, because, like, I feel like you almost still want to see if you can mend that relationship that, like, you honestly never really got. Like, you got it from other people, and then, like, for many times still for it to be turned back around and stuff like that, and you feel like, what am I doing, and then it goes back on you. But you got to remember that, I mean, you can't control that, and that's where your healing is. And, like, maybe you should look into, like, the whole reparenting and giving yourself grace, talking to that teenager who was like, fuck it, like, I'm just gonna do, like, whatever, and understand, and talk to that person, talk to that little girl who, oh, I wasn't too pretty. Yes, you were. This is exactly why, you were bullied, because you were pretty, like, and yeah, that shouldn't have happened to you and stuff. Like, your dad, like, you're not your dad, but the stuff that happened to us, I feel like, yeah, it's sad, like, it really is. But how can we take those things and be able to push it out in the world so that somebody can learn from it? There's so many different people that are going through, like, similar situations and stuff, and just being able to talk about your story and stuff, and being vulnerable enough to talk about your story so that other people can start doing that. And I feel like that's what the Black community needs, because now we're starting to get into therapy. Now we're starting to, tap into ourselves and question the things that were taught, that were told to us.
Right.
And I felt like me digging into this, I need, because I'm over here thinking, like, why don't my, I'm not going to say, why don't you like me, but I don't know. It was just my teenage years. Like, it was just a weird situation, because I didn't know. So that's why I was like, going to other places where, like, I can actually talk. That's why, Miko was so important to me. And then she left, like, so the person that, like, my big sister, like, left. So that, and then when it comes to men, I saw, all the things that happened with you, people that you trusted, and how they turned their back on you and stuff like that. And then seeing your reaction to that, like, so I feel like I always handle you with care, because I never wanted to hurt your feelings, even though, like, I struggled with certain stuff. Like, I didn't want to be a bad person. Like, and that's why, like, we always wanted to be, have good grades and stuff. And I feel like because you had good grades, you really didn't. So, like, that's what you should be doing. That's kind of the mentality that we had. And I realized that we just didn't grow up financially able, like, to get a $5 for, an A. So just what Ryan, just now knowing and having a little girl is scary, and, like, having to be mindful of who she's around, and it's just it is scary, and I feel like Bryce, yeah, he's gonna tell me everything. And I'm happy of her dad. I think I chose a good father for her, so she won't have to go through that. And now it's a little weird, like I'm in a situation where my dad, oh, you're in he's in the hospital and stuff like that. I don't know how to react. I don't should I be sad? I don't know, and I feel some type of way because I don't feel some type of way.
And I told you, don't beat yourself up about it. You can't, because only thing you you know you know how your father is. Your dad made choices on his own to connect with you. Plenty of times he made the choice that that's not your fault. He had plenty of time to connect with you, but he always tried to do it his way when he felt like it. You can't control what he did or how he is, but love him because he's your father. That's all you can do. Because I don't want you to get bitter about that. Okay, I can't see my father. If he's, but I don't want you to have that feeling that you're feeling guilty about something.
Yeah, I feel guilty because I don't feel what's going on with him. Like, yeah, it's sad, but it's like sad for a stranger, right. Because I don't know him. And he always tries to come around, but like that's what he's always been doing. So like, I don't expect anything else. But when you expect things from me and you want,
I was looking for earlier, manipulative.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I struggle with that between your father, family members, friends, with the men. I'm still struggling with a little bit right now, but I'm more assertive now than I ever was. That's like I said, I have to put my foot down somewhere, somewhere, because I was hurting myself, and that's why I felt like I had to apologize to you and your sister. Whatever I did that you felt that I made you feel uncomfortable or that was angry, it might have been drinking, but that was me acting out, and y'all was just here around it. It wasn't intensity for y'all.
You're talking about the last incident, or just in general?
Just in general, But I know, like right now, I was feeling some type of way. That's why I try to FaceTime me every day. You ain't tell me, mama. Because if you ever were talking to my therapist, she asked me all the time, what keeps me going? And I be like, tell me to picture something positive. And it's Bryce's smile. And now it's Chubby Chub. It's Chubby Chub. But I always talk about my girls.
Honestly, now I understand. I don't know. I mean, I always felt like a deep, love for Bryce.
I know the struggles you went through with Bryce and with Daryl. That's why I told you. Regardless of what differences we have, whatever power I got, I'm always gonna have you back. Always. Now, nigga, don't move to the other side of the country because then I'm gonna have to take a couple of Xanax and drink 3 bottles of tequila. And,
no, I told you if I move, you coming with me.
But I'm gonna get on the plane. I might be flipping out. You might see me on the news that I hijacked somebody. but
it's just having kids. It just makes you.
A lot of pain, and like right now, that I want to. You always been interactive. I'm just like, I loved the fact that even with just Bryce, I loved it, the little bit of time we spent together. Me and sister going out to the mall with this bullshit when y'all start cutting up in the mall. I love those memories.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Like, I feel like that's what I was doing because, like, I was always here. And I think the only reason why Dee Dee was there is because she lived here, But when you have kids, you want them to be around, like, their family members. And that's why I felt the need to reach out to my Aunt Lori because I wanted my kids to know that part, like, So that's why I was trying to find them. But I wanted that, and that's what I was doing. So, like, when I had Ryan, I didn't think that it would be any different. But then, like, you already know because you suffer with the same thing. Like, I felt like I couldn't ask for I think it went down to the first time when you say you was uncomfortable, like, with grabbing her. Yeah, but then, like, I felt like you never really wanted to watch her unless you never really wanted to watch them for, I don't know, not with Bryce, because I feel like that was my own thing. Like, I always wanted to, like, have him because I never wanted to be a burden. I never wanted to feel like, oh, you don't do nothing for your kids, or you're always out and stuff like that. So whenever I went out, I'm coming back to, like, get my kid, like, but, like, with this particular one, I didn't think that it felt like you didn't want to watch her right now. So just because of the hesitation and stuff that I still struggle with, because I have a hard time asking for help, and now I got 2 kids, and it's not in the way that I wanted it to happen. You feel like you delegate to call, but I feel like I have to delegate for the kids to, like, be around, and I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like, because I know how much joy they bring, and I know that you struggle with depression. So I be wanting you to just call and be like, hey, you can get, like, can you bring the kids over? Or, hey, I'll watch the kids and stuff.
I was like, Chanel, you want to clean?
But
I'll keep them.
But that's what I'm saying. I didn't want it to be so that I can go and clean. Like,
I'm just saying.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. That's how I feel. Like, I have to be doing something that is not fun for, like, to get somebody to watch them. And that was just my perspective on it. And I feel like, damn, like, I really don't have nobody. None of the stuff went the way it was supposed to go. So now I'm here stuck with, well, not stuck, but, here with 2 kids, trying to figure out how I'm supposed to still manage my business. I went back to work 2 weeks after having a C-section.
Yeah.
So just that whole situation, I think definitely postpartum, when I was pregnant, like, with her, it was tough, like, mentally, because of everything that was going on. And I want that. I want us to be able to, like, spend time with each other and stuff like that. But I just don't want it to, like, feel like I'm pushing them on you. Like, I want you to want to be around them and stuff. So that's why I be feeling some type of way. Like, dang, like, Ryan might not get the same that what Bryce got.
Oh, no.
And that's why I was a little like...
And one thing, I don't want you to ever say that. Because when your sister said that to me, that she felt I treated you more better than I do her, that I felt...
I felt like Dee Dee got less...
because of her father's family. That's how they were towards her. But I always felt like I had to give you that a little bit extra because you didn't have, the other side. Because I didn't know where your grandma... I only knew Monroeville home for your grandma, but she had moved. When I found out her address is when we went to court. When I had to sign on papers. And that's when I told you why I did what I did. I said, I want her to go with her grandma. She had just married Willie. But more
the only thing I can say that was different is I got all the rules. I got the strict curfew and stuff. And then with Dee Dee, she was just like, I was literally climbing the roof because I missed curfew. Like, you know, like I'm trying to get in the house.
And that's
like
why
stuff
Dee Dee
like
was
that.
always on punishment. You were outside. Cause you be like, and then next thing you know, she want to be on punishment. No, it's you can't. Bend the rules right now. You can't. Oh, you see your sister out playing, having fun.
I know. Like, oh, now I'll take the butt whooping. Yep, I remember that one.
She did that all the time. I know she got in trouble. It just you were just okay. All right, Ma. I'm just gonna take my ass whooping down, so I can be outside tomorrow.
Yeah, cause I'm not staying in the house with you.
Dee Dee will hold out.
I'm not. I'd rather cry outside.
Dee Dee will hold out. She will hold out. Mom.
I remember I was counting down the days to go to college. I remember just having everything everything down here. Like 17 days.
Yeah. Because even when you went to college, you know.
I was happy you couldn't get in there.
Huh?
Like, you wasn't able to, like, you know, just, like, go in there, like, hey, it's Chanel. Like, you know, I was happy. Even though I really wish I would have,
And hoped you moved in.
Yeah. I just wish I would have left, like, Pittsburgh, actually, like, went to a HBCU, like, went into the band. Like, I wish I'd have did that.
No, because y'all had all them colors and no one could fit.
I know, exactly.
No,
oh, wait.
Dee Dee, same thing.
I don't even know why Dee Dee, like, that didn't make sense. Maybe because I went to Pitt. That's why she wanted to do it. Cause
y'all in the parties.
Yeah.
That's what got her.
The parties, the HBCUs is way better.
But both y'all had a chance to go out the city.
I know I should have, but.
Oh well, but y'all still did good, so. Yeah. But, you know. Yeah.
Well, all in all, I just feel like now we're at, like, you know, a place where we both can understand each other's point of views, you know, and I understand more than ever because you never shared that side.
I probably didn't speak about a lot to y'all because I know I probably said in what y'all saw.
Yeah, because we saw some wild stuff.
A lot of my past haunted me for a lot of years.
When did you start feeling better, like that you can move forward from your past?
I lived a traumatized life, and I'm grateful that I made this far.
And that's what I'm saying. You have to be able to tell, like, be okay with your story. I mean, you can't do nothing about it but to embrace it and look at how far you came.
Yeah.
You know, so that you could start not dwelling so much in that. I saw this little thing on social media, and it was talking about, like, you know, your mindset, and it had 3 bubbles, and, like, you know, the middle was present, and then the past, and then the future. And so many people, they have, like, you know, the past is so big, the present is little, and then, like, maybe the future is not that big, but, like, what needs to be bigger is the present, like, and then the past and the future, for real, like, needs to be smaller than the present, because you have to start living for yourself, like, now, in the moment. With that pandemic, just imagine if we all, like, you know, got it and things, like, just changed, like, and we had so much time to just embrace who we are and start just accepting it and moving forward and trying to just live life and be happy. And whoever is not in alignment with that, like, you know, who gives off bad energy, we do not need to be around them, like, even if it's our family members and stuff like that. And that's me and my dad, like, you know, like, I don't want to go through with that because I'm grown, and then I don't want my kids to go through, like, you know, with that. But yeah, I definitely just wanted to talk to you about it because, like, you know, all of this was brought out, like, you know, and I heard, like, you know, Kezia and just talk about hers, and I realized, like, you know, even though I thought that it might have been, like, bad and, like, worse in that moment, it wasn't even, like, it wasn't that bad. And just being able to, well, what you, like, I'm not talking about all the other stuff, like, you know, that happened and stuff, but just how we just try to take that and just like go grow through it, like what she goes through. Thank you for listening. This was a great one, and I'm glad I had enough courage to talk to my mom, which helped me put a lot of those lost, missing pieces together. I went from being curious about this phrase, reparenting your inner child, and I went in. But I meant, that's just like me. In the previous episodes, I broke it down on what this first means, then how you take this idea in order to begin healing some of those past childhood traumas. I then had an episode on some of my very own struggles that I had as a child and how I want to parent my children. Then I brought my mama out, y'all, and had a conversation so we can begin repairing our relationship. Whew, this has been a great and overwhelming moment, and I'm so happy that I got to show up, use my voice, and share with you. So definitely go check out those previous episodes and rate the show 5 stars. Come on now, I'm letting it all out. And if you're feeling really moved, then yes, leave me a review. Let me know if anything resonated with you. And follow the show on IG and Facebook at What She Grows Through. And send me a DM. I'm heavy on the building community. So if you'd like to be my guest on the show to tell your story, definitely reach out. I would love to pour into each other. There's a little surprise. I'm also heavy on Clubhouse, y'all. So I created a group on Clubhouse called What She Grows Through, and that is going to be another segue where we can in person live pour into and align with each other. So if you're down with that and not that big on public speaking, I mean, I'm still learning, but it's really empowering and inspirational and all of those things. So I'm looking forward to that. And that was just a little side note, just to give you a little thing. I haven't even announced that yet, but I definitely, if you made it up until this point, then I appreciate you. So I'm giving you the scoop, early bird special. But yes, I look forward to talking with you again, beautiful. Until then.